In Hatching, a very weird and unusual horror film, a girl who is currently training to be a gymnast in an upcoming competition finds an egg out in the middle of the woods one night, brings it home, and then mothers it until it starts to grow and hatch. It seems very straightforward. Now, this is a very creepy, corny, cheesy, campy horror movie. Now, it's also a very corny, cheesy, campy comedy movie at the same time, and that's probably the biggest issue with this movie, is that sometimes it thinks it's a full-on comedy, sometimes it thinks it's a full-on horror. Some people are going to go into this film thinking it's just weird and creepy and aren't going to like it whatsoever. Some people are going to go into it thinking it's scary and thrilling and exciting and are going to love it for that. Other people are going to go into this thinking it's absolutely hilarious and cheesy and just bad, or maybe not even bad, maybe they are just going to find it funny and they're going to love it for that. Personally, I'm in the camp that just did not like this movie at all, but I do recognize that this film will be very well liked by certain people, as long as you know what you're going to get from it. There are pretty decent special effects. Some of the CGI is a bit iffy. There's a lot of animatronics and puppetry work going in here. The casting and the direction is okay at times. A lot of the characters in this film are very weird and uncomfortable and not at all believable. The mother, for instance, says and does things that no mother in the world would ever say or do, and at least no good mother. The main character is decent. They are likable enough that you start to root for what's going on in their eyes. You want to see them fulfill in this competition that they're building up to. The scares are fairly traditional jump scares for the most part. There is a unsettling, creepy element to it. There is a lot of body horror elements in this, which are uncomfortable, with like slime and gruel and blood and stuff like that. The comedy is the debatable issue here. Is it intentionally trying to be funny? Is it meant to be cheesy and corny? If it is, then it's nailing it. If not, that's where you're going to struggle with this movie. Hatching is by no means bad, but it just depends what you want from it, what you expect from it. And at this point, I don't know what the intentions of the filmmaker were. If it's trying to be a horror film, I think it fails because of the strong comedic vibes in it. If it's trying to be a comedy film, I think it's nailing it. If it's trying to be somewhere in between, then it hasn't got the balance right. So I'm really uncertain about Hatching, to be honest. It's not a film for me, it's not a film I enjoyed. It's only an hour and a half long, but it felt like it dragged as well. I think it really could have done some work with fleshing out some of the supporting characters a bit more as well, and making the characters just a bit more likable.